Welcome to Carlton's Math Corner. Today we're going to continue our study of writing expressions and equations. Now our target today is I can represent real-world situations using equations. Now this is a continuation to the last video that you just watched about writing equations, and now we're going to look at writing equations in word problems. And so here's our first word problem. It says the tallest waterfall in the United States is Yosemite Falls in California with the height of 739 meters. This height is 617 meters taller than Raven Cliff Falls. What is the height of Raven Cliff Falls? Write an equation for this situation. Well, first of all, down here, I actually pulled out some important words. It says Yosemite is 617 meters taller than Raven Cliff Falls. Now, 739 meters is also important, but that is the height of Yosemite, and if we know that Yosemite is 739 meters, and we can say that it is 617 meters taller than Ravencliff, the unknown, which one's unknown? You're right, the unknown one is Ravencliff. So can we choose a variable for that? What variable would you choose? Yeah, since Ravencliff starts with an R, I probably would choose R for Ravencliff. Now, some information. Okay, I see the word taller in here. If I have the word taller, what does that hint for you? And I know this word was not given to us in that chart, you know, of all those different words for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. But think about it. If you are a certain number inches taller than somebody, did you add those inches on, subtract them, divide them, multiply them? Which one? Yes, we added. So we are adding, we are adding on to what we know. Okay, and so that's what we're going to write down we're going to write that operation down. So, and we have some numbers. We have 617 and we have 739. Okay, so let's actually let's organize this. So I'm going to take the 739, I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to call this that we know for sure this is Yosemite, right? Yosemite. And unfortunately, I've never been there, so I would someday want to go see this waterfall because I've heard it's gorgeous and I've seen pictures, but I would love to experience in real life. Now, if I look at this, the 617, what does that represent? Well, this is how much more the height is in meters, how much taller than Ravencliff. So here we have R for Ravencliff. Taller, and we decided that means we're adding. And then we're taking 617 and we're adding that on. So we start off with Ravencliff, we add on 617. That should actually equal Yosemite. Because if this height of 739 is 617 taller than Ravencliff, what could we do with these numbers to actually solve them? I mean, if I asked you to figure out how to solve them, could you figure out how many meters Ravencliff is? Or how many meters tall it is? Yes, you probably could. Is the number less than or greater than 739? It is less than. And we know this because, first of all, it says Yosemite is the tallest waterfall. And so that means that this should be the greatest number in this problem. That should be the biggest one. But also, if I look at this equation, I actually can solve this. I can find a solution, and solution means to find the answer. Now, not all of the problems that you do today will ask you to find the solution. Some of them will just ask you to write the algebraic equation. And this right here is an algebraic equation, and that would be my answer then. But for this problem, I actually want you to find the solution. I want to see if you can figure this out without, possibly knowing what to do to get the answer. So how could you find the missing number? Something plus 617 is equal to 739. Excellent. I know some of you are saying, well, let's take 739 and subtract 617. And I notice that when I do that, I get 122. And you're absolutely correct. If I put, and I'm going to label that with meters, but if I put 122 in here, 122 is 122 plus 617. Is that 739? Yes, it is. Nice job. And we'll talk more about solving equations later on because that's actually our next target. So we're going to move on to our next problem. Our next one says Kevin had $15 with him. His mom gave him $10 and his father also gave him some money. After this, he had a total of $37 with him. How much money did his father give him? Well, here are the words. It says Kevin had $15. Mom gave $10 and father gave money, but we don't know how much. And then $37 is the total. And so, first of all, what's missing? Yes, what the money that father gave, we don't know. And so what variable would you like to use for the missing number? Well, we could use F for father. You can even use D for dollars or M for money. Whatever you decide, will work fine. Could be any letter. Okay, so if Kevin had $15, Mom gave $10. What does the word gave mean? What are you doing with it? Are you adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? If someone gives you something. Yeah, you're adding it to yourself. Like you're adding to what you already had. Okay, and so somewhere we're going to need to use addition. And then we have some numbers to use. We have 15, we have 10, and we also have 37. Okay, so let's start off with the first thing that they gave us, the first information. They said Kevin has 15. Okay, so Kevin has 15, and I like to label this. I'm going to put Kevin above it. And so he has $15. That's what he's starting off with. Mom gave him, and we've already decided when someone gives it to you, it's addition. So Mom gave 10. And then Dad gave how much? We don't know. And so remember with him, we used F for father. Now if he gave him some money, what operation is Dad doing? Yeah, he is also adding on. So he's adding on more. And the word total, what do you think that is telling us? Equals. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what the total amount is. So that is equals. And 37 is the total. This right here is my actual problem. Now, you probably could figure this out if I asked you to find the solution. If I had $15 and I added 10 more for Mom, what do I have to add extra to get to 37? Well, 15 plus 10 is 25. What do I need to add to get to 37? Okay, so 12. Let's see, is that right? 15 plus 10 is 25, plus 12 is 37. So yeah, my answer is $12. And that's how much Dad gave. Oops. Let's put our dollar sign. Last problem. Okay, so it says a truck carried 6 chairs and a table weighing 40 pounds. Altogether, the chairs and table weighed 100 pounds. How much does each chair weigh? Okay, so a truck carried 6 chairs and a table weighing 40 pounds. Now, do you know the weight of the chairs right now? No. So what variable would you like to use? Okay, let's use W. I like it. W for weight. And so if I have 6 chairs and each of them weigh W pounds, we don't know how many pounds, what do I need to do with the 6 and the amount they weigh to figure out their total weight? Well, if you heard me, I said the word each, because each chair will weigh the same amount. And so with that said, what does each usually give us a clue for? Which operation? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Multiplication. So we're going to use multiplication. And we do have the number 6, and we do have 40, and we do have 100. And so we need to use those numbers as well. And so let's set this up. Let's start off with the 6 chairs. 6 chairs. They each weigh a certain amount, and we don't know how much. And so we chose W to represent that. And remember, we're using times. Well, if we're going to use times, how do we write it again so we don't use an X? Yep, we just put it right next to each other. And so 6W. Then we have a table that weighs 40 pounds. Well, here's a clue, this word altogether. What do I need with the chairs, the weight of the chairs? And I don't know why it keeps typing like that, but the weight of chairs, then the weight of the table. What do I do with those 2 weights? Yes, I add them together. All together means that we are adding them. We're putting them together. And so 40 pounds is the table. And then it says altogether they are weighing 100 pounds. They weigh 100 pounds. So that is my total, and I'm going to put an equal sign to show my total. So I'm trying to find 6 times something plus 40 equals 100. Well, what plus 40 is 100? Yeah, 60 plus 40 is 100. So how much would each chair have to weigh to equal 60? 10. You are right. Gosh, you're good at this. You just solved an equation. 10 pounds would be my solution. That is how much each chair would weigh. Now, at this time, I have already given you your ticket problems for all of the videos that we just watched. So if you haven't completed these, please, complete these for tomorrow. And if you have already done, then we'll go over them tomorrow together. Thank you so much for joining me at Carlton's Math Corner, and I look forward to meeting with you again.